Side
On a
table.
small table near the center of the room sat a little book, the kind one could write in. Could it be a diary? And by reading it, might I steal a forbidden glimpse into the inner life of some member of the once mighty Lee family? But to my great disappointment, I found the pages empty. Ah, well, I suppose that hoping to discover the defiant last words of the infamous Lamika Lee written in blood really would have been a bit much to ask for.
Hey, Brian, hello. Could this be another case of the Orient Express, guys? Maybe they're all involved. We'll find like 5 or 6 blades in the house. All murder weapons.
I couldn't make out the lady in the ruined portrait, but I assumed it must be some grand old dame of the Lee household. Why had she been left behind, I wondered? Had the rest of the family simply not liked her?
Again?
Mind you, if I ever had to sell one of my estates, I'd rather fancy leaving behind as many self-portraits as I could spare. You know, just so that the new owners would feel like I was keeping an eye on them.
Another slash portrait. Or maybe not another one, but another disfigure portrait. Oh, what's that? Not important. Another one! Wow.
A set of old vases sat on the dresser. Could there possibly still be anything in them? The neck of the nearest vase was too narrow for me to see anything inside at a glance. I suppose I could have stuck my hand in to feel around, but... there could easily be a mouse or a spider lurking in there. No, that would be a much more suitable job for Miss Charisse and those small, dainty hands of hers, I think.
Alright, keep going. 19 minutes! Guys, 19 minutes. Alright, we have to talk to her. Oh, that picture looks bloody. Okay, let's talk to... let's call the Contessa now.
Darling, I have a little confession to make. Although I'd met our good host, well, ex-host, a number of times, I'm afraid I never really knew him, if you understand what I mean.
I hardly expect you're the only one in that situation, my dear. The prince had this maddening habit of talking all the time and yet somehow still saying very little.
So was he really a prince then? Do you know?
He's a self-proclaimed prince.
These days, title really does not mean what it once did. After all, how many do you have now?
Oh, let me see. At least 3. All by marriage, of course. Sometimes it can be hard to keep track.
Just so. No doubt our late prince could make some claim or another. But these days, who can't? Just about anyone can claim a tenuous connection to some great old family that was thought lost in the Revolution. And it's so hard to prove them wrong. And as long as there isn't money involved, no one much cares to try.
So he called himself a prince, and that's about all anyone knew. He wasn't married or anything, was he?
Good heavens, I hope not. You did see him doting all over our sweet little Charisse, didn't you?
Come now, Contessa. You and I both know that's proof of nothing.
So cruel, but so true. Still, if he was ever married, I never heard of it.
And you do have such a knack for hearing interesting things, darling. If there was anything to hear, I dare say you would have heard it.
Oh, modesty forbids.
In any case, it would seem our late prince was quite the enigma then. At least I can feel glad that I wasn't the only one in the dark.
Alright, enough of that.
I don't know about you, but I can't shake the impression that Miss Charisse was, for lack of a better term, the guest of honor this evening. What do you know about her?
Oh, the poor girl. She's an only child, and her parents passed away just recently.
Yes, I feel for her. An enormous inheritance, and all of a sudden no one around to tell her how to spend it. The family, they were industrialists, were they not?
That's right, though by the end they were into pretty much everything. Manufacturing, banking, real estate, and more. They were a bit close-lipped about their net worth, but certainly one of the richest private families in the empire.
And if I recall correctly, they were a new money family, too. Money-grubbing upstarts. I think I heard them called at court from time to time.
Did you really? I don't doubt it, of course. My word, that place can be just so beastly sometimes.
Actually, I thought that was rather tame. You should hear the things they call me.
Oh yes, they can say such horrid things about widows like us. Sometime you and I will have to swap stories of the more creative ones. When these circumstances are more pleasant, of course.
Of course.
We don't have time for these ladies. Where were you when it happened?
You know, it was really quite shocking. One minute the prince was playing host and telling ghost stories, and next thing you know, we all come running and he's dead on the floor.
Oh, indeed. That was a surprise of a most unpleasant nature.
Where were you when you heard the news? It was that one-eyed shambler in the ill-fitting coat who found me in the other bedroom. Did he find you first?
No. In fact, I was in here. And it was that young man with a decidedly orangish hue who brought me the news.
Our oh-so-helpful Horatio. He must have been done fixing the lights then.
Yes, they'd only just come on. I must say, he was in quite a state, with those robes of his flapping about everywhere. I expect I would have laughed if he didn't look so distressed.
Oh, alas, such a wasted opportunity.
Mind you, he didn't tell me exactly what the matter was at first. I'm not sure he knew himself. He only said that something had happened, and we had to gather everyone together right away.
And our two little darlings. You found them on the way back then?
Precisely. Just as we were coming back down to the main floor.
Well, it's good we've got that all straightened up. With so much running about the house, it's enough to make one's head spin trying to sort it all out.
Oh, my word, yes! I used to get quite bad headaches myself, especially back when I was with my second husband. Mind you, those only ever seemed to come on when he was telling golfing stories.
I'm not interested in that.
My dear, I know exactly what you mean.
Enough. Okay, enough. Alright, some locked topics now, unlocked topics.
Comtessa, darling, I just heard a delectable little morsel of gossip, and simply must share it with someone.
Why, some scrumptious gossip is just what I need right now. Do tell me more, dear.
I was talking to the Leah girl, you know, Sharice's little hanger-on, and she hinted that she'd been feuding with her family, and was more or less kicked out of the house.
Oh my, how sad for the poor young thing.
To be honest, if she lived with me, I'm quite sure I'd do the same. But do you know anything about who she is?
I dare say I know a little. Her parents were wealthy moguls in the technology sector. That is, until about a year ago.
Ugh, of course they were. No wonder I didn't know who she was. I find all that technobabble so terribly dull. So, what happened?
Someone leaked the company's most sensitive records that suggested corporate espionage and other unsavory business. Thanks to a rather exorbitantly priced lawyers, the family avoided a prison sentence, but the company was ruined.
Okay, what if it was the prince who leaked that information, guys?
I see. Do you think, then, that our very own Miss Leah was...
the one to leak the files? Oh, darling, it's unseemly to speculate about such things. All I know is that they always said it must have been an inside job.
Why would she do that? Why?
self-righteous brat who will send her own family up the river if that's what it takes to do what she thinks is right. And here I thought I couldn't like her any less than I already did.
Well, she is a hacker, guys. So maybe she is a self-righteous hacker. Yeah.
So how did you know Prince Titanico then? I met him at an art auction myself. How about you?
Oh, I hardly knew him at all, really. He was an acquaintance of my late husband's. They played cards together sometimes at his club, or so I understand.
I see. Is this the first time you've seen him then, since your husband passed away?
Well, he came to the funeral, but other than that, yes. Yes, it is.
Don't you think it's a little odd that he would invite you out to a rather small event like this, when your husband was the one he actually knew?
He said he thought I would appreciate the historical nature of the estate, and he's not wrong on that count. Perhaps he may have also thought I'd be a little lonely, being recently widowed and all. That part's nonsense, of course. A woman in my position gets rather used to it. But it's sweet of the dear boy to try.
Yes, indeed. One does get used to it. Husbands come and go. It's the way of the world, really.
Too true.
Alright, enough of that, guys. I mean, ladies. We have to go. Goodbye. Alright, we still have the butler left. We are going to the breaker room. We have less than 10 minutes. Where is the butler?
Thanks to my candle here, I should be able to find the light switch. Ah, there we go. With only a little effort, I found my way down to the basement of the old house.
So many wires.
Although our little adventure with the lighting had seemed natural enough at the time, given the condition of the house, the prince's murder had colored all of the evening's happenings with a more sinister shading. Perhaps examining the house's electrical panel for myself would shed some light on the mystery.
Okay, let's do this. There's no one here.
That must be the breaker panel. Let's take a closer look, shall we?
Alright.
I don't know much about this sort of thing, but it looks to me that all the switches are on, except for one. Well, fun as it would be to make the little girl faint again, I probably shouldn't touch them for now. Hello, what have we here? It's an electrical timer. I once used one of these in the school breaker room to shut off the lights during my high school exams.
Electrical timer, automatic timer.
You can use it to flip a breaker switch at a predetermined time. The question is, just what is it doing here?
Yeah,
I'm starting to think our little blackout earlier might have been no accident after all.
The timer here and the timing of the phone call. Definitely related.
The wiring is old, but it looks to me like it should all work. It's a bit of a mess, though. Hard to tell just what goes where.
Alright, that's enough. I think. Okay. Anything else? This is not a panoramic background. So that is all. Only the electrical panel. Alright, let's get going. Let's get going, guys. We have to go to the Manor Grounds. I bet you that... oh wait, there's still a smoking room. So much left to do.
When
Where's the
I
valet?
first arrived at the Manor House, I thought it might rain that evening. And in light of recent events, I half expected a flash of lightning to provide an atmospheric backdrop to the stage of our little drama, complete with the clap of thunder as the applause. But the night air hung cold and still, and the only sound was the rustling of weeds and brush that clawed against the foundations of the building. Wait, rustling? But there isn't any wind. Who's that out there?
It's just me, Misfortune. Ma'am.
I say, what in the world are you doing skulking about in the brush like that? Don't tell me they get you to do the groundskeeping around here, too.
Sometimes I do a bit of gardening, yes. You know, when things get out of hand.
In the rain.
Gardening, at a time like this?
Well, no, ma'am. Right now, I'm keeping an eye out for strangers, just to keep everyone safe.
What a relief. I do feel ever so much safer when a hulking man with an eye patch is lurking in the shadows right outside the house.
What? Alright, we examine the grounds first, guys.
There were stories from the time of the Revolutionary War that when soldiers first stormed the grounds of the Lee Manor, ferocious spectral beasts appeared out of nowhere to tear apart the terrified trespassers. Of course, you can't believe everything you hear. But I found myself keeping a watchful eye on the wolf statues in the courtyard, just to be sure.
Yeah, I know I have to prioritize the conversations, but I am trying to be very thorough here. Since this is our first playthrough of the game, I think this game definitely needs a second playthrough.
Flops claimed he had already checked the ground around the house for footprints, but I thought it couldn't hurt to double-check. Apparently I thought wrong, though, for as I stepped off the path into the brush, the weeds and thorns tore at my skirts and scratched my ankles. You know, I think I'll just take the one-eyed brute's word for it after all.
Yeah, so the next time we play, we know what to skip, guys.
A run-down shed sat in the corner of the yard. Gingerly, I tried the door, but the wood had swollen, and it seemed stuck in its frame. It was just as well, I suppose. Ugh. Why would I want to go inside a moldy old shed anyway? Ugh.
Yeah, we really shouldn't have picked the real timer choice at the beginning, guys. We shouldn't have picked that one. No.
Flops claimed he had already
Okay,
checked apparently.
not that again. The gate, the front gate. And the manor house. I think that's that. That is all, guys. Can we go back inside? Is that all? Yeah, alright. We are heading to the smoking room. Smoking room. Who is in the smoking room? I think we have talked with every person now. We have talked to them all. The voodoo doll, let's check that door
I
again.
returned to what the prince had called the proverbial smoke-filled room. It struck me that this would be the perfect place to call everyone and reveal the truth to this mystery. In the meantime, I thought it wise to take another look around while I still had the room to myself.
Examine room. Wait, gather everyone! I know who the killer is! What? What?
That cabinet had a few things of interest in it, if I remember correctly. In the cabinet, there was an odd little doll that seemed to be made out of straw. Was it some kind of voodoo doll? I tried making those a time or two myself, although, to my great dismay, they never seemed to actually work quite right.
That is all? The cushion. That is a strange place.
A padded velvet cushion sat in the cabinet looking somewhat forlorn. Surely it was meant to showcase something more interesting, but there was nothing on it now. I could swear that something had been on this cushion before. Just what was it?
I don't remember. The diamond ring? Is that the one? I guess that is our only choice. The diamond ring. Diamond ring. Okay, not the diamond ring. Oops.
A padded velvet cushion
But
sat.
can it be something else in our inventory? Maybe the knives? I don't know. My wallet? My purse?
Yes, that was it. There had been a knife on the cushion during our tour. I was sure of it. And not just any knife. The knife that may have stabbed the prince. But who could have taken it? I cast my mind back, trying to remember if anyone had lingered behind for even a moment. But it availed me nothing. The prince had been the first to leave the room, but that was the only thing of which I was certain.
Okay, not a whole panoramic screen here, right? I don't know. Oh, only the cabinet. 44 seconds.
The large crystal globe in the cabinet was impossible to miss. It seemed to be filled with a swirling red mist of some kind, and as I stared into it, I thought for a moment that I could see a pair of malevolent eyes. Or was it just one, staring back? But surely it must have just been my reflection in combination with the dim light.
11 seconds, guys. Can I gather everyone out? Yes, yes. What would happen? Would the time have stopped? Time has run out. The police will be here any minute. Oh.